I've lived with asthma most of my life, so cutting down on these excessive piles of fabric was obviously a smart choice for me. I've also never liked wearing brand names. I mean, I believe in love and truth, so I don't feel like I have the time and space to also champion a fashion label. And I never liked seasonal clothing shopping, or the feeling after doing it and then realizing that this year's impulse buy is only going to be worn a handful of times because it doesn't go with anything else. And I don't like clutter or not knowing where my things are, and how confusing packing a bag can be when you're going away for a weekend but your drawers have no principles. So I've always been motivated towards a minimalist wardrobe, and at this point extreme minimalism, but it has actually been a puzzling thing for me to work out how to do. So a couple years ago I sat down and tried to come up with a plan, a versatile wardrobe option, but even then I was up at like 30 to 40 pieces. Today I own 15 items of clothing, including jackets, and 1 pair of shoes. Let's have a look. I own 5 black t-shirts, 1 singlet, 2 workout tops, and 1 sweatshirt. These are all my tops. The sweater I got secondhand and I really like it. It keeps me warm and it's basic. The singlet is starting to wear, which comes as no surprise since I've had it for years. In New Zealand, I wear it a lot given the hot and warm summer days here. I'm sure when it falls apart, I'll replace it with something that better matches the rest of my minimalist wardrobe. I own 2 pairs of pants and 2 pairs of shorts. The shorts I use for everyday use and for exercise. What I really like about these pants is that their design is poised appropriately between both formal and informal wear. I can wear these to work and people take them to be dress pants, and I can wear them around my friends and they take me to be a free soul or minimalist. I held on to my corporate pants for a year because I assumed I would need them. But after a year I got rid of the pants, deciding I wouldn't go back to a corporate job even if they wanted me to. I used to buy cheap shoes and go through a pair every 1 to 3 months with the amount I was running. These days, I only own this 1 pair of shoes. I use these at work and on hikes. They're the New Zealand brand Allbirds. So that's just fun more than anything because I'm from here. And the company labels the carbon footprint of the shoes on the shoes, which promotes conscientious and ethical consumerism. If in the summer my feet are too hot, then I don't want to have to be wearing shoes anyway. I've tried sandals and jandals or flip-flops, but my feet always blister, so I'm happier just wearing these. Can I go on hikes and tramps? Only if these shoes will do the job, and I'm fine with that. For outerwear, I own 1 jacket and 1 pair of track pants. I've had these track pants since the days my parents were buying me clothes, and they work just fine. They're made out of plastic, so it would be hard to buy again, but whilst they last, they do work, and I'm planning on using them for as long as I can. I got my jacket secondhand and I really like it. It's light, it rolls up, it affords me some weather defense, especially for hiking, and it's simple, and like my jumper, it matches the rest of my clothing. Before we continue, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, I live in New Zealand. No, I probably don't need as many clothes as one might if they live somewhere else, because the weather here is very ideal. I have 1 set of swimmers. These are made from plastic, so again the most sustainable option is to use them until they cannot be used any longer, and to take care of them, to make them last longer. I own 1 backpack that I use every day. This is a beautiful Swedish brand called Fjallraven. The company makes a series of ethical statements. It's made from recycled plastic. Its design is simple but effective, and the bag's utility is simple but practical. Obviously, I also have underwear and socks. I've got a few, but there's no point me throwing any out as long as I can wear them. The socks get holes in them, so I'll have them as long as they last. And any new underwear and socks I buy are going to be a simple design. They'll be organic, and I'll consider the ethical and environmental statements from where I buy them. Let's just get another elephant out of the way here. If you're becoming a minimalist, do all your clothes need to be black? No. But for me, black is just the most versatile colour, which therefore helps you get away with owning less pieces. I also want less noise. I want to be saying less. I want my clothes to be less of a thing in my life. And the absence of colour lends itself towards these values. However, black clothing does use a dye, which in the future I'd like to avoid using for a less intensive production process and therefore a smaller footprint on the environment. So you can get unbleached and undyed organic fabric, but this results in a particular colour which would be more of a statement than I feel like I can get away with at the moment. Once I cut my institutional ties, however, I'm sure you'll see me wearing the resulting cream neutral colours all the time. You know, I really like the idea that some ways of doing things are better than others. So when I was dreaming about my ideal wardrobe, one of my big questions was, what is the best fabric? First, I really liked the idea of linen. It feels simple and calm, and it feels very natural. It's also very sustainable, but the material doesn't have a lot of stretch in it, which for me is not so good. I want calm, but I also want to be able to wear a top easily. So now I have one homemade top made from organic cotton, which is just a much more convenient material, but still more sustainable than conventional materials like polyester and regular cotton. I wish my tops were neatly folded aesthetic linen in my closet wardrobe, but the cotton is very neutral, which is close to calming, and I feel like I notice the feel of my clothes more than I look at them. So in the end, my planning session for figuring out what might be a versatile wardrobe solution was a good place to start, and you could use my own wardrobe as a shortcut for yourself. How I eventually arrived at where I am today was also by practically noting what I was and needed to wear each day, because that way I wasn't inventing my needs, I was just consciously recognizing them. You could start to make a conscious wardrobe of what you actually wear, and then take what you're not touching as your first suggestion of what to let go of. Note what your needs actually are, and see if anything is extra or an unnecessary duplicate, and see if any 2 items could be replaced by 1. Question if a lifestyle change might actually help you in this journey. Maybe quitting the gym membership is beneficial in enough ways to make it a viable choice. I know I've improved my finances, free time, health, and my minimalist wardrobe values by exercising independently. And finally, accept that this process probably works best if it takes time. I mean, I only just got rid of a robe and some sandals very recently, but by taking that time, I can feel assured that I'm not going to backtrack on my decision and purchase more. So be clear about why you're doing this, and remind yourself from time to time that you are doing it. Stay conscious, and then you'll naturally end up with a wardrobe that enhances your life. Thank you Veritable Vagabond for suggesting this video. I assume I've got a few subscribers here for the minimalist content, which I haven't been making so much of, but this was a great suggestion and I hope to make more videos like this. There's just so many ideas to communicate and so little time. If you'd like to support my channel, you can like the video, leave a comment and subscribe. See you next week.